And I'm your host, Dana Migliore. How are you today? Where's your energy at? Take a deep breath in and just ask yourself, how am I feeling today? And today's actually a really super special episode. I'm super hyped to, be having this air. It's the first ever time I'm having a co-host, a visitor here on the podcast. Super special, bro. Jairus Lovell. And Jairus, tell me a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, who you are, and we'll get this podcast started.
Hey everyone, the name's Jairus Lovell, as Dana just said. Well, where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? I'm trying to think. Well, first of all, I'm from the U.S. Like Dana's from Canada, so I'm from the U.S. I live in Jersey. Been a law of attraction practitioner since 2012, I would say. I mean, what else is there to know? I mean, there's more, but like we can just like go on. Just ask me
Right?
more.
I'm putting you on the hot seat here,
Yeah,
Jared.
yeah, exactly. It's all good. It's all good though. But like, I actually meditated before I got on the call. So I'm thinking, you know what? So let me be as calm as possible. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice. Meditation is key to
It really
everything.
is. It
Mhm.
really is. Journaling too, because I just started journaling again as well. So journaling, meditation, those are like the two like things I do when it comes to like bad vibes or stress and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how you shift that energy, right? How you change that
Exactly.
frequency that you're
Exactly.
on. Those are the two
Exactly.
key tools
Exactly.
I mention every time.
Mhm.
And they're super important. And people think, they might seem simple and kind of
Mhm.
brush them off as tasks that may just seem that they're not going to work because you've never taken the time to really hone into what they can do for you. So if you're at that
Mhm.
spot, I really suggest keep going at it or ask me or Jairus here for some guidance or some tips because we know what we're doing here.
It's funny. It was actually like I was actually I told you this before, but like so this is the first time for your listeners to listen. But like I actually like told you how I helped my best friend manifest his girlfriends. So
Right.
like I'm not gonna say his name, but like he basically I basically just helped him like this manifest like what he wanted in terms of like details of like exactly what he wanted in certain partners. And now he has his girlfriends now. So it's like it's really cool that I helped him do that. You know, it's funny because I was also telling you that I was rereading the magic. And when I got to day 3, which is magical relationships, I actually printed out that photo of him and his girlfriends, and I'm thinking, no, like first of all, it helps because like he's my best friend, and two, it's like it's helpful in the sense of like, oh, I helped him do that, as a reminder. I actually have a story of like a visualization story, but did you want to ask me anything?
Well, just for the listeners out there, when you reference the magic, are you talking about the book The Secret or be a little bit more specific so
Okay,
people
so the
yeah.
magic is a secret book. Is a book written by Rhonda Byrne. It on top of like books like The Power, How the Secret Changed My Life, Hero, The Secret to Team Power, The Secret to Love, Health, and Money. Like these are all books written by Rhonda Byrne. Like that's the number one law of attraction person that I always listen to because it started with me with The Secret. Like other people, they have like different camps of knowledge and law of attraction knowledge of what they listen to.
Right.
Like you got your Napoleon Hill camp, you have your Abraham Hicks camp,
Yep.
you have a lot of people rediscovering Neville Goddard, which kind of puzzles me because it's like, okay, well, Rhonda Byrne kind of mentioned Neville Goddard lightly already, so it's like little. It's just like it's unusual. But I see a lot of people talking about the law of assumption, which is the same thing. It's the
Hmm.
same thing as the law of attraction. Like it is. It
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
like so I see like people like Leora Alexandra and like certain PGI consultants that freaking Proctor Gallagher Institute, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But like certain PGI consultants say like, oh, what's the difference between the law of attraction and the law of assumption? And it's the same thing. I'm literally hearing them say the same thing that I say. It's the same thing. There's this rediscovery of Neville Goddard, and like people are talking about the law of assumption. Actually, there's a school called the School of Imagination, which is dedicated to Neville Goddard, and the students are called Goddards. So it's like that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. As I was saying, like it also depends on your camp. There's actually a quote. I don't have it on my Instagram, but I think I've said this. I posted this before. If you're gonna take advice, be aware where it comes from. So you have a lot of people that go with like some people are like with Tony Robbins. I actually don't know a lot about Tony Robbins, like in terms of like law of attraction, but I kind of put him in the same camp as
Yeah.
Cardone, like the massive action takers, which is like you don't necessarily have to do that, but also depends, like it depends on where you got it from first. Like there's about 7 people from The Secret that actually read Think and Grow Rich, like Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, John Assaraf, Joe Vitale, Dr. John DeMartini, Laura Langmeyer, John Gray, who wrote Men Are from Mars, Women from Venus. So, it also depends on which camp. Where did you first learn, Dana?
Boy Jairus just dropped some names though. And if you're looking to kind of look towards his Instagram, Jairus, drop your Instagram handle for the listeners out there.
At JLW310.
Yeah, so you want to check that out for show. This guy knows a lot about the law of attraction. His knowledge is just profound. For me, I was very young at the time, and then obviously it was Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. It was the movie for me. It was not the book. It was the
Yeah.
movie. I watched the movie, and that opened up a door for me. But it wasn't really until about 20. It was about probably 2017 where I reopened the door. Where it was pretty much Bob Proctor, Abraham Hicks, Napoleon Hill, that really tore me in. And then I got really drawn to Tony Robbins' motivational speaking, and like I took a lot of courses and classes with him. So it's so funny because I feel like where I'm lacking in some of the knowledge that you know from, I like am on the other spectrum. So that's why I think me and you mesh really well because we
Mm-hmm.
have like both sides of the spectrum. But that's where it started for me too. I think for a lot of people, that's going to be probably one of the number one things. It was one of those things that came out. I think I was like in grade 11 when I seen it. How old I was when them, I don't know. I think that was 2004. So we're going back. But
I was 20, so when I
yeah.
first saw it. So
So I saw that and I opened up that my mind to these things, and I really started getting into like astrology and stuff like that at that age, even younger than that. But that's what really opened up the door. And then it was in my later years that it was more like Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, and Abraham Hicks that really just took me to the next level and the next level and the next level, which now I just feel like, okay, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, where before I really just didn't know. And it's fun at that stage too, because surprises can happen. And then you're like, did I do that? Did I do that? We all know where that's coming from. But yeah, so that's where it all started out for me. And I love that you are mentioning that you've helped others and you've helped your friend manifest something that he's really wanted. Everybody wants to somewhat manifest the perfect relationship, right? At some point in your life, whether it's now, in the past, or before, you want that perfect relationship. And he's in it right now. And you were able to help him do that by, it was journaling, I'm assuming.
he wrote it in a journal. Yeah, he wrote
Mm-hmm.
it down. I think that's a key thing right there. Like, well, there's a Bible quote that said, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, wait for it, for surely it'll come at a point in time. I actually didn't hear that. I actually grew up Catholic, so that's surprising. But I actually heard it from Steve Harvey. And then when I
Nice.
did what's called the Mind Body Wealth Journal, that's actually a friend of mine. Her company is called Abundance Life League. So I was writing in the Mind Body Wealth Journal and actually manifested a lot through writing, including affirmations as well. So, like, I mean, that's the easiest. It's not my favorite. My favorite's like visualization and vision boards, but
Mm-hmm.
affirmations is very easy, especially when you have a quick little quick little affirmation, like 3 words. I actually have a whole notebook that's dedicated to one affirmation because it's so easy to write down. It's like, let me just write it down. Sometimes I'll write like 3 pages a day because three is my number, one of my numbers. So no, it is like, it's funny, like the Nikola Tesla 369 method. I actually
Mm-hmm.
did that before. I haven't seen too much with that, and on my benefit, I know it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm just saying, like, wow, because like three's a magic number. And you said you study astrology, so do I. I actually got into numerology first, and numerology, the number 3 actually is like the birth number, where things like come to birth or come to pass through, like the number 3, like when you have 3 things going on. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm a Gemini, which is like the third sign of the zodiac. I'm also life path 3 in uh
Three, three, three.
numerology. So what?
I was just saying 333 because that's like one of my favorite numbers to see three and triples. And you
You
just
know what?
mentioned
When
like
I got into
333.
angel numbers, that was the first one I saw,
Nice.
333. So like, like so that's synchronicity right there. So
Mind,
I
body,
got into
spirit.
angel numbers because, and mostly because I got into like numerology, so it was very easy for me to attach to angel numbers as well. So other esoteric disciplines like human design and astrology and numerology, and like I had never got into like the I keep forgetting. Oh, the Myers-Briggs test.
Uh,
I never got into that too much because it
Me
always confused
neither.
me,
Yeah.
honestly. Like it just like, oh, I'm a IBHHIZK. I don't know what that is, like at all. So I'm like, I mean, I'm sure like I'll get into it again one day, but it's like it just confused me. Like it really did. But that's just me. I'm sure like a lot of people like got like a lot of positive things from that, especially other like girls and things of that nature. I'm sure like you did it and like got some positives out of it. But just me personally, I just got confused from that completely.
I was always wondering why I kept seeing 444, 333, 222. It started out with 1111. Then I was like funny numbers. It was like 1233, 1244, 555, 556. It was just like a repetitiveness of that. And I was just like, what the hell is this? So I really just started looking into what these numbers mean. And to me, what I found in my perspective was it was just your inner calling, the inner guidance, the source trying to send you a message. They're trying to communicate with you beyond how they can already communicate with you, which is actually through your emotion. Your emotion as a frequency, and your emotions mean everything. And it's really a guide to letting you know that you're maybe going down a road that you don't want to manifest this, because that feeling you're feeling will just bring more of that feeling. So when your emotions get worse and worse, it's like a slap in the face to you to realize, okay, I need to start shifting my direction. And that's why
Absolutely.
for some people it takes like things happening bad in threes. I think it just really gets to a point where somebody needs to have bad things happen to them for them to need to snap out of it and go, no, no more, like fucking no more. And we don't really need bad things to happen to us to shift our direction, but I feel like it
Yes.
takes that for some people to realize, right?
Yeah, unfortunately it does, and it's
Mm.
it's really it's really sad that people have to kind of bottom out in order to get their life together. And I was actually listening to that. I was watching the L Word, and they were saying the same thing. I was like, I didn't have to bottom out to get my life together. It's so true. No, seriously, it's
It
like
is.
like but it's for some people they really have to shake like. For me personally, because when I was younger, I was like, I didn't like fit in really. I was
Mm.
just like kind of like an oddball, but like because I held on to like a faith that I was special or some sort of faith in general. And you know what I realized? I
Mm.
realized that because there's two levels of understanding, right? You have science and then you have spirituality. You know what I realized? Spirituality is actually more important than science because the thing about
100%.
science is that it's always catching up to spirituality. He's like, people always look at facts, but facts are always changing. It wasn't possible to run the 4 minute mile, but then Roger Bannister did it. It wasn't
Mm.
possible for, you know, black people to be with white people or be in the same vicinity, but now it's possible. Like you can name almost anything. Oh, like the Wright brothers. Oh, it's not possible to fly, and then all of a sudden like the Wright brothers who are bicycle mechanics, freaking like made it possible.
Right.
So forget the facts, because facts are always changing. So spirituality is way more important than science. That's why in Think and Grow Rich, faith is one of the first principles, while everything else is secondary.
Right. That's so powerful. It's so true. And there's probably a lot of people out there that may not agree with that, but firsthand, I'm agreeing with that 100% because it's the truth. It's that spirituality. It's that from the inside out type
Mm-hmm.
deal to really
Mm-hmm.
create what's there. And these individuals harness that. That's why they were able to create that. And then when people seen that they were able to do it, they're like, well, what can I do? It gave that person faith that they could. Right. So that just
Exactly.
gained stronger and stronger. And that's like reminding ourselves of those little things and those achievements that we've done, even just helping your buddy like manifest his girlfriend and things like that. That reignites the faith, that reignites the belief in that. So it's really powerful to do that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Remind yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like especially past manifestations. I think like one thing that I've done is like redone a lot of like or relived a lot of things I manifested. Like for example, okay, I'll tell you something that happened. This is the story I was going to say last year. Okay, so get this. I had lost my wallet. I was going to Barnes and Noble. I lost my wallet. It's like a very slim wallet, right? So I was going to Barnes and I was like, wait, where did my wallet go? So I was a little freaked out about it, but then I started visualizing, right? Visualizing my
Ah,
wallet. being back, using my cards, putting the cards back in, having the wallet with me, and
Feeling
I
the relief that you have your wallet
exactly
back. Yeah.
well, just not just the relief, but just having the wallet back in general. And
Hmm.
then went home. My brother called me. He's like, did you lose your wallet?" And then I got my wallet back, basically just all through visualization. So I could tell that story a lot better. I actually told that story, I think, like the fall of last year when I was doing
Hmm.
something with Mike Dooley, like the Infinite Possibility certified trainer. But I told that story and people were very impressed by that. But that's just visualization. And that's just
Yeah,
one thing that you can use to manifest. There are plenty of tools, as I just said, vision boards, visualization, affirmations, like
for
you
sure.
it's
And
on anything, but you
one
can
tip,
literally use anything, honestly.
whatever really resonates with that individual, because everybody's different and everybody
Yeah,
kind of relates to something different. And that's why it's great that there's so many methods. Find the one that works for you and fucking milk it.
exactly.
You don't need to use
Exactly.
all of them. So if one, you find it's not working for you, try something else.
Mm.
And if I could give advice to anybody, it would be as specific as possible as you can when you feel good. Because
Yes, I can't agree with you more. Specific details matter so much because
hmm.
then if you don't, you will manifest whatever. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example because like well, I'll say the whole story. I had when I was doing the Mind Body Wealth Journal, I had wrote down on one of the affirmations. It's broken down into three groups, right? Mind, body, and wealth. The wealth affirmation was like, I'm so happy and grateful that I manifested multiple sources of income. I manifested three network marketing companies, three of them. One of them, a friend of mine, I met my friend through, and like now he's a cool guy. But the bottom line is this: I did not know where it was going to come from, the sources of income,
Right.
as opposed to building sources of income. So you
Mm,
have to be as detailed as possible. I'll give you another
yes.
example. 2014, I was friends with this girl. She said something I didn't like, so I manifested an apology. 48 hours later, I got my apology, but it was a half-ass apology. I'm serious. Like it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I was too honest. I'm like, but the point is,
Mm,
now I got what I wanted, but the point is, I didn't be specific, which is my fault. I didn't say
yes.
I want a sincere apology. So
Right.
the universe just gave me an apology without really realizing what I wanted. You have to be detailed, and that's just a
Hmm.
conscious thing you have to do. So details matter. You say that some people say God's in the details. It's so true, and you're like technically you are God. So that's
100%.
that.
Yeah, it's within each and every one of us. So that's that. Be as specific as possible. And honestly, reach out to one of us. Like if you have a question, if you're unsure and you need a little bit of guidance here, me and Jairus got you. So that's what I could say to that. And honestly, this has probably been one of my favorite episodes ever. So I can't thank you enough for coming on here and spitting the realness, spitting some law of attraction genealogy over here. But is anything else you'd like to say to the viewers before we tie up this episode?
You know what? I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, Dana. And I'm glad I met you. You're freaking awesome as hell. And thank you for letting me be on this episode because, like, you didn't have to do it, but you said you wanted to. So I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
yeah, meeting you was like a surprise. Actually, how we met each other was like completely random. Random. It's really synchronicity.
Coincident.
Coincident, yeah, exactly. But like no, it's been like freaking fun, and like you can follow Dana on all seven of her Instagram.
Yes, I have plenty. You can follow the links below. Reach out to one of us, and I'm sure Jaros will be here again. This is super fun. This is
Oh
super
yeah, you can't
high
like
energy.
invite me back. I will definitely come back for sure.
100%.
In fact, you want to say we're doing the live soon or no?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be going live on either my Instagram or Jairus's Instagram. So if you want to follow us, you'll get more details by going to our Instagram. I'll link those Instagrams below for this episode. And just click them, follow, and enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey.